into Gabby Williams, got hit in the forehead, and it caused 2 black eyes. And you can still see some of the remnants of them, and now she's sporting the bloody lip. She is as tough as they come.
Look,
Beth mentioned, whenever she sees you with the 2 black eyes, she smiles in a way because it just exemplifies your toughness. Do you feel tough in these kinds of situations with these 2 black eyes?
I mean, that's what people keep telling me. Every time she sees me, she smiles and then she says, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "You don't need to be sorry. This is what it is." And when I'm playing, like, I forget about it, and then I go and look at the mirror. I'm like, "Oh shit, he's still there." So yeah, I don't really think too much about it because I don't necessarily feel them all the time.
Yeah, and you're still able to see completely fine.
Yep.
Right.
Nothing's changed.
All right, perfect.
The final buzzer sounded, and Lexi Hall walked off the court with fresh busted lip added to the 2 black eyes she already carried onto it. Her face was a roadmap of pain, a brutal testament to what it took to secure one of the most unexpected and commanding victories of the entire WNBA season. While the scoreboard showed a 20-point demolition of the Chicago Sky, the real story was hidden in the bruises, the missing superstars, and the sheer will of a team that refused to break.
That's a W. Made it out. All we gotta do is keep making it out. Woo! Dubs!
How does a squad stripped down to its bare bones not only compete but dominate? How do they rewrite their entire identity in the span of 40 minutes? The answers to those questions are what have every single fan buzzing. And it all starts with a revelation that changed everything. Just days before the final push of the regular season, the hope that had been flickering in Indiana was completely extinguished. Caitlin Clark, the franchise player, the engine of the offense, and the reason many eyes were on the Fever, made a devastating announcement. She went public with the news every fan dreaded but hoped to avoid.
Caitlin Clark released a statement saying this: "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. I want to thank everyone who had my back through all the uncertainty. This has been incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. The way the fans continue to show up for me and for the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I am so proud of how this team has only gotten stronger through adversity this year. Now it's time to close out the season and claim our spot in the playoffs."
In her own words, she stated, "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season." The frustration in her message was palpable. She revealed a stubborn groin injury that had plagued her since July, an issue that simply refused to heal despite countless hours of rehab and work. The announcement was a gut punch. For weeks, the possibility of her return was the team's lifeline, the secret weapon waiting for playoffs. When that hope vanished, the entire narrative around Indiana's season had to be torn up and rewritten in an instant. The disappointment wasn't just felt by Clark. It washed over the entire organization and its fan base.
End of the day, she's been working her butt off to be able to get back, and we've kind of run out of time to be able to do it in a safe way, in a safe manner. And I think we've all been very open and upfront with her long-term health and wellness is the most important thing. And to be in a position that you need to be in to play at this time of the year, we just ran out of time to get her there.
This wasn't how the story was supposed to go, but the loss of Caitlin Clark was just the tip of the iceberg. The Fever's training room looked less like a medical facility and more like a casualty ward. The term snake bitten doesn't even begin to cover it. Sophie Cunningham, a key enforcer and veteran presence, was lost for the year. Sydney Colson, a steadying hand at point guard, was down with a torn ACL. The versatile Chloe Bibby's name was permanently etched on the injury report, battling persistent knee issues. To top it all off, Ari McDonald, another crucial backcourt piece, was sidelined with broken foot. That isn't just a list of names, that's an entire rotation. Imagine trying to win in the most competitive league in the world without your franchise player, your toughest defender, your backup ball handler, and a key wing. The coaching staff wasn't building chemistry. They were playing a desperate game of lineup roulette every single night, just trying to field a competitive team.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, number one, just all the injuries that she's had. Obviously, I wouldn't speak for her, but and the amount of work that she's put in to position herself to be able to play and then to have to ultimately make this decision. There's disappointment. There's the obvious frustration that's come with not being healthy really for an entire season. But ultimately, I think the big picture is the most important thing, and those are conversations that we've continued to have. And the message has continued to be that it's not her long-term health and wellness and her being 100% when she's.
From the top down, the message was consistent, but it was layered with undeniable frustration. Head coach Stephanie White didn't sugarcoat the situation. She admitted openly it's frustrating all the injuries that she's had. She was referring to Clark's brutal summer of recovery attempts. The explanation was a simple matter of time. The calendar ran out. White explained, "We ran out of time to be able to do it in a safe way, in a safe manner." The organization made the painful but correct decision to prioritize the long-term health of their superstar over the short-term gain of a rushed return. General Manager Amber Cox echoed this, reinforcing that protecting Clark's career was the only acceptable outcome, even if it gutted their immediate chances. This was a franchise staring into the abyss, choosing a future promise over a present-day miracle. Yet, amidst the disappointment, a different kind of leadership emerged. Caitlin Clark, in street clothes, never once looked like a player who had checked out. The TV cameras constantly found her on the sidelines, her eyes locked on the game, her voice cutting through the arena noise to shout instructions and encouragement. She leaped off the bench for every big play, celebrating her teammates' successes as if they were her own.
If a newcomer in Bree Hall plays tonight, Boston on a kick out. Mitchell, oh, she's hot to start. Mitchell finds Dantes, who rolls and lays it in.
For the fans in the stands and watching at home, her presence was electric. It was a powerful reminder that her impact on the team's culture wasn't confined to the court. She was all in, even when she couldn't physically be in the game. That energy became a catalyst, a source of motivation for the players who were suiting up, and they needed every ounce of that motivation because the playoff picture was brutal. Coming into that critical game against Chicago, the Fever were clinging to the 8th and final playoff spot by the slimmest of margins. They were just a single game ahead of the Los Angeles Sparks. One stumble, one off night, and their entire season could come crashing down. The pressure was immense and unrelenting. This wasn't about playing pretty basketball anymore. It was about pure survival. It was a test of will, a question of which team wanted more. With their backs firmly against the wall and their depth chart in tatters, the Indiana Fever walked into a pressure cooker against their divisional rivals, and instead of cracking, they exploded.
Mitchell, will she add to it? Whips it back for Dantes. Kelsey Mitchell putting on a show here in Indy.
Look at the spin on the ball. Just one dribble over the head pad.
Mitchell's been brilliant on a kick out to Howard. Mitchell bouncing. Howard, the left hand.
And then getting a stop on the defensive end. I know Coach Stephanie White is happy with her team with that.
Mitchell being hounded by Atkins, trying to shake her. Mitchell bounces inside, and Howard gets the roll.
The final score, 97-77, tells a story of dominance, but it doesn't tell the whole story. To understand this game, you have to look deeper. This was the 5th time these two teams met this season, and the 5th time Indiana walked away victorious. They didn't just beat Chicago, they completed a season sweep, and they did it by an average margin of 24 points per game. That isn't a rivalry, that's complete and utter control.
Here in the first half. Oh, it's Howard finding Sims, who finishes tight quarters. Howard backing in on Williams. Little shake and bake. And the fadeaway.
This game was a masterpiece of execution. Kelsey Mitchell, stepping into primary scoring role, was brilliant, putting up 20 points and dishing out 8 assists, balancing her own offense with setting up her teammates. Natasha Howard was a force on both ends, contributing 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals. The ball movement was surgical. 27 assists to just 9 turnovers. They got double-figure scoring from 3 other players, including Odyssey Sims, Aaliyah Boston, and Aerial Powers.
7 of them came in the second quarter. Indiana's just been able to hold Chicago at an arm's length here tonight. And Natasha Howard putting together one of her best games of the season.
Missing that little bunny, just the possession before, comes up through the contact, goes straight to her chest. Not a...
Sims finds some space and can't get the roll. Howard charging, tips it, comes down with it, and flips it home.
This was a shorthanded team playing with a level of synergy and trust that most healthy teams can only dream of. They weren't just winning, they were sending a message to the entire league. But if one performance encapsulated the entire night, it belonged to Lexi Hull. She entered the game with 2 shocking black eyes, the result of a violent collision the week before. She looked less like a basketball player and more like a fighter who had just gone 10 rounds.
She is the team's leading scorer with Angel Reese not available. Hull lob it inside. Boston spins and finishes. So far in the second half, it's been 1 step forward, 1 step back for the Sky. Boston turns the corner on Cardoso, banks it home, and a foul.
And then in the second half, she took an accidental shot to the mouth from Camila Cardoso that split her lip open. Bloody and bruised, she refused to come out. She played through it all, a living symbol of the Fever's new identity. This was an anomaly for her. This was a career year. She shattered her personal best for 3-pointers and is posting career highs across the board.
Get to their sets a little bit quicker.
Here's Hull off the Boston screen. She hits, and Indiana is...
I love the way that she's been able to elevate her game.
The youngsters out of South Carolina, who both are having strong seasons, as Indiana has opened up 3 for 3 with...
Her coach, Stephanie White, said Hull epitomizes what they want to be, resilient and fearless. Her defense was locked down, her energy was infectious, and her willingness to absorb physical punishment became the team's rallying cry. After the game, reporters asked her about the black eyes. Her response wasn't about pain or frustration. It was about purpose. She explained that they fight every day for their injured teammates. That quote, that mentality, is what locked in her status as the heart of this team. She smiled to the bruises and gave a soundbite that will define this playoff push. It was a moment of raw authenticity that revealed the true character of this roster. They aren't just a collection of players. They are a band of warriors playing for each other.
Nature of our team. I think one other thing that sometimes goes missed is just the character of these women, right? Especially this group that's been here, that's gone through all of this, and then the ones that we brought in with O and Che and AP. I mean, these are women who care about winning. These are women who care about one another. These are women who sacrifice every single.
The implications of this win are enormous. It didn't just provide a sigh of relief, it fundamentally changed their trajectory, with the win and other results around the league going their way. The Fever didn't just cling to a playoff spot, they jumped to 7th place and took firm control of their own destiny. They have virtually locked in a postseason berth for the 2nd consecutive year, a monumental achievement for a franchise that spent a decade in the wilderness. The door to an even higher seed, like 6th place, is now cracked open thanks to stumbles from teams like Seattle and Golden State. This 5-game sweep of Chicago now stands as one of the most dominant season performances in WNBA history. They didn't just beat a rival, they exorcised demons and built a new reputation on a foundation of toughness and collective resolve. This victory was a statement heard across the entire WNBA landscape.
By my rough count, the Fever have beaten the Sky by 12,000 points in their 5 games this season. I'm not perfectly sure on that number, but it seems correct, as they smack the Chicago Sky yet again. Basically, they've already been in a good playoff position, but cement a hold on a playoffs.
For years, the narrative around Indiana was one of potential unfulfilled, a team perpetually in a rebuilding phase. But this performance, under these specific circumstances, signals that the rebuild is over. The foundation has been poured, and it's made of something stronger than anyone anticipated. This isn't a fluke or a lucky streak. It's the result of a culture shift that prioritizes grit over glamour, where every player understands their role and executes it with relentless effort. The coaching staff, led by Stephanie White, has instilled a system that maximizes the strengths of whoever is on the floor, proving their strategic prowess goes far beyond drawing up plays for a single superstar. Think about the message this sends to the other teams in the playoff picture.
Kelsey Mitchell, brilliant once again. Lexi Hull playing through a busted lip after she's played through black eyes, which came from the knot on her forehead, which, you know, is sort of exemplifies the Fever season, the way they fought through things. You got all players on crutches and carts before the game. Caitlin Clark, unfortunately, ruled out for the season. It makes you think what could have been, but what is a smacking for the Sky whenever they face them, and a playoff spot almost assured for the Indiana Fever.
Facing the Fever is no longer about simply containing one phenomenal player. Opponents now have to contend with a Hydra. If you focus too much on stopping Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard will dominate the paint. If you collapse inside, Lexi Hull or aerial powers will make you pay from perimeter. The ball movement, evidenced by that staggering 27 assist stat, shows a team that is completely selfless and trusts each other implicitly. This level of cohesion, especially after the lineup has been shuffled relentlessly all season, is a nightmare to game plan against. It forces opposing coaches to prepare for a system, not just a person. Furthermore, this one provides an immeasurable psychological boost. Confidence in sports is a tangible asset, and the Fever are now overflowing with it. They know they can not only compete with, but thoroughly dismantle a playoff caliber team while missing half their rotation. That knowledge is a weapon they will carry into every remaining game and into the postseason itself.
Brooms out! Get the brooms out! I got my dustpan handy. We sweeping up the Chicago Sky. They are toast. They are done. We gonna hold on to our broom for this entire blog. Listen, the Indiana Fever just absolutely smoked the Chicago Sky. What a win. What a win.
There's no more doubt, no more questioning whether they belong. They've earned their spot and have the battle scars to prove it. This self-belief transforms players. It makes them play faster, shoot with more confidence, and defend with more tenacity. It's the intangible ingredient that can often be the difference between a first-round exit and a deep, surprising playoff run. The impact on the fan base cannot be overstated either. Fans have endured years of struggles, holding on to hope through long seasons. This kind of resilient, gutsy performance is what created a lifelong connection between a team and its city. They aren't just cheering for wins. They're cheering for the identity this team has embraced. They see Lexi Hull's black eyes and busted lip not as signs of weakness, but as badges of honor. They see players like Aaliyah Boston and Odyssey Sim stepping into larger roles and thriving. This builds a powerful, emotional bond that translates into a deafening home court advantage and a level of support that truly fuels a team during tough moments. Looking ahead, this game serves as a critical blueprint for the future. The front office now has concrete evidence of the culture and supporting cast they are building around Caitlin Clark. It answers crucial questions about which players thrive under pressure, who can be relied upon in big moments, and what the team's identity can be even when the offense isn't running to a singular generational talent. This information is gold when making decisions about roster construction, contract extensions, and future drafts. They are no longer guessing. They have proof of concept. Ultimately, this was more than a game. It was a culmination. It was a moment a group of individuals, thrown into a seemingly impossible situation, chose to become a single, unbreakable unit. They transformed adversity into their greatest advantage, using every setback as fuel and every doubt as motivation. They didn't just win a basketball game. They defined who they are and who they intend to be for a long time to come. The playoffs are no longer a goal. They're a launching pad. And every other team in the league has been put on notice. The Indiana Fever are for real, and they are coming for everyone. So what does it all mean? It means the Indiana Fever have discovered something more valuable than a single superstar. They have forged an identity. They are no longer just Caitlin Clark's team. They are a team of fighters, of survivors, of players who will leave everything on the court for each other. This resilience is a foundation of something special. Now, imagine what happens when you reintroduce a healthy, motivated superstar into this hardened, battle-tested system. The potential is terrifying for the rest of the league. This one was more than a game. It was a declaration. The Fever aren't sneaking into the playoffs. They are charging in, and they are rewriting their story right in front of our eyes. If this kind of gritty, against-all-odds performance gets you fired up, then let us know in the comments below. Tell us what you think this means for the future of this team. And for more deep dives into the most shocking sports stories and incredible turnarounds, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out.